If you told me this movie was created solely for the intent of letting liberal movie critics reaffirm their objectivity by giving genuinely bad reviews to a story about a working-class Latina woman asserting herself against various toxic male authority figures amid a morally gray portrait of the American-Mexican narco wars, I would tell you there was no way anyone with that kind of imagination worked on this movie. A loose and largely toothless remake of the 2011 film of the same name, Miss Bala features Gina Rodriguez as a struggling Hollywood makeup artist assistant, splitting her time between LA and helping her childhood friend prepare for the Mexican beauty pageant scene in Tijuana. When the two are separated during a shootout at a dance club, Rodriguez's character finds herself abducted by a violent narco gang and conscripted as a mule, only to be subsequently also grabbed up and forced into inside informant duty by equally vicious DEA agents. To find her friend and escape with both of their lives, she'll have to navigate both sides and draw on skills she did not previously know she possessed to survive. Sound good? Okay, now imagine the least interesting version of everything I just said, and now you don't have to go see the movie. Or don't do that, but also don't go see the movie. Either way, just don't go see the movie, and you'll already be having a better week than me. Then again, everyone's safe for most of the people who die in that time period typically have a better week than me at this point. It's mostly another dull drama that's too fixated on guns and proceduralism to function as the character piece it wants to pose as, and neither stylish nor sexy enough to warrant its convoluted woman-in-peril plotting, whereas the original used stripped-down crime drama visual cues to tell a single-minded, woman-centric survival story. This version marks time with pointless plot turns that require Rodriguez to be, usually literally, yanked from situation to situation by various men to the point where her character lacks any real agency and the plot loses all urgency, and there's so little to her personality from scene to scene that we don't have much to center our focus, leading to a sense of pacing that's as disjointed as it is disinteresting. The secondary plotline about the gang inserting the heroine into the Miss Baja beauty pageant, which makes significantly less sense here than it did in the original, where it was more central in the connection to the true events vaguely inspiring the story in the first place, briefly enters the narrative near the beginning of the crime parts and then vanishes completely for almost the whole runtime. So when it suddenly shows up again in order for the finale to have enough forced shots of Rodriguez carrying a machine gun in an evening dress for the trailer to pretend it's selling a trashier but more entertaining movie, the ensuing whiplash is nearly the most exciting surprise Miss Bala has actually managed. Whoa, hey, remember when it looked like this was going to turn into violent miscongeniality and then it just didn't? Instead, the bulk of the second act gets bogged down in the kind of dreary, kidnapped, double-agent imprisonment melodrama ostensibly centered on Rodriguez maybe not developing a twisted sense of mutual affection with the gang's ruthless young leader around their shared experience of growing up in both Mexico and the US, a dynamic that might be interesting if it even once felt like anything but a narrative justification for two main characters to speak mainly English to one another despite the film taking place in Mexico. This kind of empty, bland storytelling would be par for the course for mid-budget features dumped into early February, sure, but what finally tips Miss Bala over the edge is the mounting and ultimately confirmed realization that the reason the lead character essentially isn't a character at all until pretty much the finale is that this is meant to be the origin story and what someone is clearly hoping will be a franchise for Gina Rodriguez. It won't be, but they're clearly trying. 1 star, please don't reward them. I don't want to watch more of these.